UFC 311, Islam Makachev versus Arman Tsarukian. Worthy of note is that Islam Makachev has 11 submission victories in his professional career, six victories by submission in the UFC, and Arman Tsarukian has no submission victories in the UFC. So that's just one more thing, one more tool available to Islam Makachev that's not available to Arman Tsarukian. One more tool for Islam Makachev to get the job done. I won't say it's not available to Arman Tsarukian, but if you didn't submit anyone else, you ain't going to submit Islam Makachev. And I know Arman Tsarukian has shown great resistance to being submitted. We saw in the Charles Oliveira fight. And Charles Oliveira has the most submission victories in the UFC, and Arman Tsarukian was able to survive his choke, resist it, and get out of it. But Islam Makachev submitted Charles Oliveira in the first round, so Makachev's submission is even stronger than that. So that's one more level of skill, one more level of tools available to Makachev that ain't available to Tsarukian. Another thing is, on the other hand, I was thinking that Dustin Poirier survived until the 5th round with Makachev. Not only survived, but had some close rounds with him. So if Dustin Poirier can survive until the 5th round, Arman Tsarukian should be able to do the same thing. And if he makes a lot of those rounds close, or closer than Dustin did, since he'll have the wrestling so that he won't get dominated like Dustin did in the first round, then he might be able to scrape a decision. But I also thought that, but another thing that comes to mind is that Dustin has titleship experience. So he already had 2 title fights before that. So with that experience that Dustin had, maybe that's what helped him survive to the 5th round. But I'm certain that Arman Tsarukian is going to be in the shape of his life. So Arman Tsarukian is the type of special individual that will be on point, and so I'm sure he's going to be in amazing shape. And you know, if a non-wrestler is in the shape of his life, it doesn't matter all that much if you fight Islam Makachev, because the skill gap in wrestling is too great for the most part. But because Arman Tsarukian has the wrestling, he has trained for most of his career in wrestling, and he is very skilled, him being in the shape of his life might make the difference, where it really does make the fight so close, where he can get the job done, can get the victory. Can Arman Tsarukian win by knockout? I mean, early in his career, Tsarukian had a lot of decisions. I think he's had a few more knockouts recently, but one of them was with an elderly Dariush. I don't want to say elderly, but up there in age Dariush. So I don't know how much stock we can put into that. And he had a few like ground and pound of Yoel Alvarez. Yoel Alvarez is a great fighter, but it's expected that he wouldn't have the wrestling to deal with that ground and pound. But I can't see Islam Makachev being put in that position. And everybody's saying, and it's true, that Islam Makachev's boxing is looking crisp. His boxing is really tight and defensively sound. So I don't think he'll take so much damage that he'll put himself in a vulnerable state where Tsarukian can knock him out. All this sounds like I'm saying Islam Makachev is going to win. When I finally make a prediction, maybe I will go for Tsarukian. So this isn't a final prediction. But I was just thinking that submission difference between Makachev and Tsarukian is worthy of note. But we'll see. Maybe Tsarukian will win. Maybe Makachev. And I'm looking forward to the fight. And when it comes closest fight week, I'll give my final prediction. And despite all these advantages I listed for Makachev, and I listed some for Tsarukian as well, but I might go for Tsarukian, so we'll see. Like and subscribe.